Everybody, this is Carolyn from Kiwi Trader 24. We're taking a look at the S&P 500 as we get ready to trade October week 3, which is monthly OPEX week. If you're familiar with it, S&P 500 options for October expiration only will trade through the end of the day on Thursday. They expire with the average open on Friday using the ticker SET. Okay, so let's start off by taking a look at a 5-minute view of ES and how we ended the day on Friday. Here was our ending with the S&P 500 at the bell, and then we popped on up well above the session high all the way up to 3480. There's about a 9 to 10 point spread with the S&P 500, so this is going to take S&P to at least 3489 to resolve this level. This level will get resolved. You can't have futures, which is a derivative of the S&P 500, go and print a new level without the S&P 500 also printing it as well, some point in the light of day. And this looks like the market's sending a message to us that we're going to have higher levels next week, as people wanted to make sure they were not short going into the weekend. Probably a little bit of thin volume on Monday because of the Columbus Day holiday, and then on Tuesday we get this Apple event as well as Amazon Prime Day on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So a couple of heavy hitters are going to be rolling next week and probably juicing the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ 100 higher. Here is a backed out daily time frame of the S&P 500. Here is the last 3 days of trading after we had this nasty day on Tuesday where we hit a new high on the week and then rolled over after Trump tweeted some comments about stopping any kind of negotiations on a stimulus package until after the election. Well, underneath the surface, the next day, we were getting ready to make this bullish cross of the 10-day simple moving average up through the 20-day. And of course, overnight, he started walking back his tweets. So that, compiled with this technical, gave us a nice gap up open the next day. And we began this rally, which continued through on Friday when this same 10-day simple moving average crossed up through the 50-day, which is a really strong buy signal unless the market makes an effort to fend it off. And as you can see, we've had these 3 days up in the air, very similar to the kind of activity we saw in August leading up to the all-time high, which was set on September 2nd. So going to our weekly time frame, you can see here that we have this line of support and resistance at 34.28. We finally made a weekly close above it on Friday, yesterday. The last time we made a weekly close above this level was back here, the final week of August. Then when we got into the first week of September, we made our new all-time high and failed to close above this level. And you can see that it became resistance thereafter. So mark off this 34.28 level, and we want to make sure to see weekly closes stay above that. And once they do not, that means we are rolling over once again and beginning to sell. Here is the roadmap chart that I always post every day. It's always pinned to the top of my profile. I don't always update it every single day. Sometimes I take a day off, but I try my best, and I've been posting it here for 10 years. This is detailed information of everything that is going on with the S&P. Here is that area of the 34.28 that I just showed you on the weekly chart. Up above that was this high that we made here on Tuesday, as I explained at the beginning of the video. So this little area from 34.28 to 34.31 is now support underneath us. You can see we've had 2 daily closes above here. And you can see back to the left here, all these daily candles coming up and failing here. And you can see here was a close down here. Here was a low that tried to bounce off of it, and then the very first time we saw this level come into play was when it was first printed at the end of August, as we broke out with a gap up open. The first high of the day after this gap up open over and above resistance was at this 34.28 to 34.31 level, and from there we took off, and now we are in similar behavior to what we saw back here. Once we get into Monday, what we're looking for is obviously to move above 34.79, move above 34.79 to 34.80, get through the halfway back from September 3rd. This is September 3rd. This was our first big day of selling after we rolled over off of the all-time high, and then get up here to this 35.08 level. This is our weekly all-time closing high. So the highest weekly close that we've ever had on the S&P 500 was on August 28th at 35.08. Intraday, If we can get above here, we've got really nothing but air above us. It's really all about whether we are going to find some sellers who want to keep us down below a certain level, or are we just going to just grind our way on up through here towards the high and overhead gap resistance at September 3rd. The September 3rd high, 35.64. So once again, we got to get through 34.80. We already saw that futures will be taking us up to 34.89 based on what happened after hours on Friday. And above there, we got to get through 35.08. Let me show you one more time on the weekly time frame. Here was 35.08. This was our weekly all-time closing high. The following week opened a little higher, made our new all-time high, and then sold off, and we couldn't close above this 34.28. So on a weekly time frame, 35.08, 34.28. Those are very key levels, and we want to watch for a daily takeout and close above this 35.08, and that should get us moving up towards 35.64. Let me show you one more thing from this simple daily chart. This is called a fork. This is a tool that they have available in Thinkorswim, other trading platforms with some analytical software. This particular fork uses this little back test back here in mid-July as its first plotting point up to the all-time high, down to the September low, the sell-off low that came after making the all-time high, and it projects out this fork. We are heading towards the median line of this fork. The median line of this fork this week will run 35.16 to 35.41. So if there is a factor of where we are sort of heading into limbo up here, working our way up and wondering where somebody might hit the sell button, think about those numbers that I just gave you, that 35.16 to 35.41 over the course of this week. That might be the area where there might be some resistance in this sort of wide open blue sky area where we can drift up into towards an ultimate level of getting up to the high from September 3rd. Okay, that's it. Have a great rest of your weekend, and if you like this video and you like the stuff that I've posted through the years on my account, you can join my private account by clicking the link in my profile here at Kiwi Trader 24. That'll send you to my GoFundMe page, which will give you a long story about me, what I do, and what I offer at that account, and what you need to do in order to join. Have a great rest of your weekend. Good luck and good trading.